everyone, this is Carla and welcome back to the studio, and thank you for joining me for another episode of Throwback Thursday. So for this Thursday I will be using the Turtle Friends bundle. It's a photopolymer builder stamp with some really cute turtles, and then there's the coordinating turtle punch. So the two projects I have are pretty simple, so let's get started. So to start off, I have for my card base, I have a piece of Berry Burst. This measures 8.5 by 5.5. I've scored it at 4 1/4. I have a piece of basic white that measures 5 1/4 by 4. I have a scrap of the glorious Gingham 6 by 6 DSP, and this is the paper here. The colors in here are Berry Burst, Blueberry Bushel, Lemon Lime Twist, Pecan Pie, and Pretty Peacock. So you have this larger check on this side, and then on the other side you have the smaller gingham on it. So this piece here is Berry Burst, and this measures 4 by 1. And then I have scraps of Lemon Lime Twist and basic white cardstocks. So I'm going to start off and I'm going to fold and burnish my card base. Okay, and I'll set that aside. And then I'll set my DSP aside as well. Now on these pieces I'm going to be doing some stamping. So on this basic white piece, I'm going to stamp my greeting that says Happy Birthday. And I'm going to use my Memento Tuxedo Black ink to do that. I'm going to be using this for most of my stamping here on my cards. Okay, and I'm going to stamp this right down here. And what's nice with this set, it's a photopolymer set, so you can see exactly where you're stamping. And that looks good. And then on this little scrap piece, I'm going to stamp the little party hat. I'll be coloring these in with my blends. So I'm going to stamp that there. We'll set that aside. And then on my piece of Lemon Lime Twist, I'm going to bring in my outline image of this turtle. Ink that up. And then I'm going to stamp that right here. Okay. And then I'm going to bring in my Granny Apple Green ink. And then we're going to stamp the design image for his shell. So here's that stamp right there. And I'll ink this up. And then I'm going to stamp this right in this area of his shell. Like so. There's a little too much ink on there. That'll be okay. That'll just be part of the shell. What happened, I pressed my stamp into the ink pad a little too hard, and this is a newer ink pad, so it's a very inky ink pad, so that's why it did that. I just pressed a little too hard. I forgot that it was a new one. Okay, so then I'm gonna speed this part up. So what I'm gonna do, well actually I can do all that near the end. So what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to do just a little bit of coloring of my turtle. So for that, I'm going to bring in my basic black. This is the Stampin' Write marker. You can purchase these separately as opposed to the other colors that we have in our Stampin' Write markers where you get them in a 10-pack, you know, how in the way that the color collections are. So I'm going to use this marker and I'm going to color in kind of like the toes of his feet. And then for this hat, I am going to bring in, I have my, let's see, what do I got? I got dark lemon lolly, and I have dark pool party, and then I have light lemon lime twist, light berry burst, and the dark peach pie. So I'm going to use all of these colors to color in this hat, and then I'm going to fussy cut this. Now this, after I color in his little toes, then I'm going to punch it out using my punch. So I will be right back. Okay, so let me bring in all of my pieces. So I'm going to take this piece of my DSP, and I'm going to bring in my seal. I'm going to add some on here like so. And then I'm going to place this on my basic white layer. Place that right there. So it's the same width or length as my card base. And then I'm going to take this and adhere it to my card base. And just center that there. Okay. And then for my turtle, I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back of this. Okay, and then we'll remove these backings. Okay, and then I'll place my turtle right here, and I'll make sure it's going to be straight. Put that right there like so. Okay, and then for this little party hat, I'm going to bring in my small dimensionals. And I find it's a little bit easier when I use my take your pick tool to pick those up. And that's just going to fit on that party hat. And then I'll take this and I'm going to place this right on the top of his head like so. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in, these are the adhesive back shiny sequins. These are currently in our online exclusives. So that just means that they're not in a paper publication. They're strictly online. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to use some of these green ones. So the green ones are lemon lime twist. So I'm going to use 3 of my larger ones on here. I'm going to put 3 of them on this. Then we got one more right there. Okay, so there is our first card. On to our second. Okay, so for my second card, I have a piece of Pretty in Pink that measures 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I have a piece of Smoky Slate that measures 5 1/4 by 4, and then I have a scrap of basic white. So for this, I also have a couple of extra things in here as well. So I have the Forever Plaid 3D embossing folder. This is a brand new embossing folder that is in our upcoming new holiday mini catalog. And I'm also going to be using a die out of the Nested Essentials set of dies that is in our current annual catalog. And I'll be using this larger rectangular die here. I'm going to pull that out. And then, so this embossing folder, this is Stampin' Up! With our new catalog, our new annual catalog, have come out with some embossing folders that are a lot larger. This measures 6 by 8.5. So again, this is the Forever Plaid 3D embossing folder. This is new in our upcoming holiday mini catalog that will be going live. And let me pull it because it starts on September 4th. So this is the new holiday mini catalog. Now, if you're not working with a demonstrator and you would like a paper copy of this, my email address is in the description of the video. Just simply send me an email with your full name and mailing address and let me know if you would just like that catalog, or if you would like the annual catalog, or if you would like both of them. So this is new. This is going to be available just really in a few more days. We're almost near the end of August. So I'm going to use this and I'm going to emboss my Smoky Slate piece here. Then for my scrap of basic white, I am going to die cut this piece. So I'm going to die cut this first and then I'll do my stamping on it. And then I'm going to take my card base and I'll fold and burnish this. And then I'll take this and just put it aside because I'll need to do those other things first before I can assemble the card. Okay, so now for this part, I'm going to go ahead and take care of embossing this and die cutting this, and I will be right back. Okay, so now let me bring in this piece and we're going to stamp on this. So on here, I'm going to start off with my greeting, and this says, "You are turtly loved." And I'm going to stamp that in my Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And I'm going to stamp this. I'm going to bring this down a little bit lower so I can see. And I'm going to stamp this right at the top of my die cut. Okay. And then I have these two little turtles. So each one is facing a different direction. So I am going to stamp these on either end. I'm going to stamp one over here. And then the other one on the other side. Like so. Well, he's down a little bit lower, but that's okay. And then I'm going to bring in my Pretty in Pink ink. And then there's a stamp that's got these little 3 clusters of hearts. So I'm going to stamp one here and one over here. And then there is one other stamp that I did not pull out. And let me pull that out along with my ink pad. So I need the Granny Apple green again. And then in the stamp set, there's this little designed image for the inside of the shell for these little guys. So I'm going to grab that and I get a block. And this time I'm not going to press that so hard into my ink pad like I did before. So it's just going to be a little light tap. And then I'm going to stamp this inside the outline of the shell. And it is a little hard to see up at the top part of it. But as long as I get it in there, that one came out a little bit better. So I'm going to close this up. And now I'm going to do a little bit of coloring. So I'm going to take my light Smoky Slate marker and I'm going to add a little bit under their, like some grounding underneath their feet. So it doesn't look like they're floating in air. And then I'm going to take my dark lemon lime twist. I'm going to add just a little bit of shading. Do the same thing on this side. Okay, and then I'm going to take my black Stampin' Right marker and I'm going to get this little part that's on their feet, so I guess their toes. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in the light lemon lime twist and then I'm going to color the rest of them in. And then we got the other one. Okay, so these are nice and quick and easy to color in, so that's what they look like. Okay, so then I'm going to bring in all my other pieces. Now what I did when I embossed this piece, instead of putting it in the embossing folder straight to where I would have had straight lines, I put it in at an angle, so that way when I put it down there was a little bit of a different type of design on there. Instead of it being straight lines, we have angled. So then I'm going to bring in my seal and I'm going to add some on the back of this. And then I'm going to center it on my card base. So. And then on this piece, I'm going to bring in my dimensionals. It looks like my dimensionals want to stick to the backing paper, so that's why this is looking a little bit of a hot mess. Just this one pack. Okay. And I'll take these off. Okay, and then I'm going to center this onto my base like so. And then I'm going to bring in these adhesive back shiny sequins again. And this time these are Melon Mambo. So I'm going to use this one here. So I'm going to take a larger one. And I'll place that down here. And then I'm going to take two of the smaller ones. Put one up there and another one right over here. So there is our second project. So let me bring in the first one. So here's our first one here. We utilized the turtle punch and then did just a little bit of fussy cutting since there's not a punched image in that punch for the hat. And then we did this really cute pink and gray one with two cute little turtles that says, "You are turtly loved." So if you like the projects that I made for this episode, please give the video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to the channel. It does help me in not only growing the channel, but it also helps me in building my Stampin' Up! Business. So tomorrow it will be my Friday Night Live. Tomorrow is August 23rd, and I had a little bit of a change in my schedule. So if you receive my newsletter, I did post that I would be using the Simply Sparkling bundle. This is a bundle that was in our online exclusives. And when I was in the process of planning the projects for it, it turns out that in the online exclusives, the set of dies are still there, but now the stamp set is gone. So that will be a bundle that I will actually be using for a throwback Thursday in the future. So I swapped it out, and I will be featuring the Mediterranean Bloom suite that is in our annual catalog. This is also the same suite that I used for my in-person class that I had last Saturday. So these projects are completely different than what I had done last Saturday. So I will be going live here on the channel at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I hope you'll be able to join me. And if not, I want to thank those of you that will be my replay warriors and watch afterwards. So until then, everyone, have a blessed one. Bye-bye.